Hey guys, Kenny here. I'm here to review the animated 3D comedy Gnomeo and Juliet, and I have to say that I really did enjoy this. It basically, uh, if any of you know the Romeo and Juliet story, it basically follows that same formula. Gnomeo from the blue side. I think that's the Montague. He goes. He somehow stumbles upon the red side, which is Capulet, after seeing, uh, after running into Juliet, and he doesn't know that she's a red at first, and then they start really getting to like each other, and they go on these little adventures together, and in in doing so, they also endanger their both of their sides, and those sides end up fighting each other, and it was really surprising to me at the what happened at the very end of the movie. So this had very good performances by all the actors, then uh, the doing the voice acting. James McAvoy, Emily Blunt. Uh, there are many other voices that I recognize, but I can't remember them right at the top of my head right now. But Romeo and Juliet. Hmm. This I loved also the music that was used in this, and the 3D was used to great effect on this in this movie, and the animation looked very real. It looked like you could actually go into their world. It didn't actually look to me like I was watching it on a screen. It felt like I was actually going into their world. But this is probably the first great 3D movie animated of the year. I really did enjoy this. I can't think of anything that I didn't like. If there was, um, if there is anything, it felt like the story uh, kind of dragged in the middle, but that didn't take away from my enjoyment of the entire movie itself. And I felt like this was very true. This stayed very true to the Romeo and Juliet story in a way. This was a, a great movie. The 3D was also incredible. This probably won't be this movie probably won't be remembered as the year goes on, but I really wish this got number one in the box office because I think this one deserves it. But that's how things go. But this movie, I highly recommend you all go out and see this. I really think this deserves to be a big hit. This is definitely, in my opinion, original. I mean, it's based on something that's already been written and adapted many times through different mediums, but this was told in the most in a way that was the most different out of anything I've seen in the past. And the humor that was put into it added more to the story. I didn't feel like the humor was going away from the overall story. And, and even there was some musical moments in it that I also felt like didn't take away from the overall story as well. Um, so there's also a really touching subplot that involves, that's with the leader of the Capulet and the Montague side. They both lost something very important to each other. Not to each other, but to them. They both lost something very important. Uh, hmm. And when they talk a little bit more about it, it kind of makes you well up. I felt like I almost cried. Oh, there's also a very hilarious. I don't know if it's necessarily a cameo, but somehow Shakespeare himself makes an appearance in this movie, and he adds a little bit more to the story than than what was actually what we actually see. He talked a little bit more and he added a little bit more depth to it. Humorous depth, but it was depth nonetheless, and it was um, oh, it, it was exposition from him, but I felt like it wasn't boring. I didn't feel bored at all while he was there, and I think this definitely needs to be watched. Uh, it's not as groundbreaking as Toy Story 3, like story wise, but I'll I'll say that it's on par with Toy Story 3. So I've been making really smart movie choices as of late. Some like last year's when I started being a little more selective about what I've watched, and I've been really pleased with it, especially with this Gnomeo and Juliet. So I highly recommend you all go out and see this. I give it a very high recommendation. So stay cool and roll out to the movies. Bye.